What up, YouTube? It's your boy Darius. We're about to do about react to David Cross. Why America sucks at everything. I was talking to my buddy David. Shout out to you, David. I was telling him that I need to react to more political stuff. I'm a political science major. As a matter of fact, that's him right there. I just reacted. I'm a political science major from UCLA, and it wouldn't make so much sense to me to keep reacting to stuff, without reacting too much to politics. So he recommended this channel, Gravel Institution and Institute, I think. Yeah, Institute. I'm sorry if I messed it up. This video is the one that popped up. David Cross. I actually know him. Not him personally, but he was that wheelchair dude from Scary Movie 2, and man, that was hilarious. Dude, his part was hilarious. And he also played Zero on that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And I know he was on Men in Black 2. Yeah, he was on Men in Black 2. And so I'm always aware of who he is. But what we're gonna do, we're about to check out this video out. So let's get to it. See what my buddy David had to say. I'll get to you in a bit. Alright. Hold on. Y'all. Up next, America is bad at everything. Oh, let me see. 6:30. America continues to be bad at everything. Rapid passion.
America is the greatest country on earth.
The America! We're the greatest country on earth! Yeah, right.
Strongest, the richest, the most powerful country on earth. As an American, I'm sure you've heard that roughly 135 times a year. 135 if you go to public school.
Yep.
335 if you go to a Christian academy.
Yep.
We're told that Americans have the best lives of any people in the world. That we have low taxes, small government, and the highest living standards on earth. And
Bullshit.
most inaccurately, that we're the freest.
I just laugh at that part that really free is. America now, we're basically like a fucking third world country now.
It is partly true.
As a matter of fact, it's like I think we're like we're the most popular, as Trump say, shithole country all across the land. Ain't that funny?
It is the richest country, not just in the world, but in the history of the world.
Yep.
It's really hard to comprehend just how rich we are.
I mean, that's true, we are rich, but
18 million people who are millionaires. American households own about $100 trillion in wealth, an almost unthinkable amount of money.
Damn.
Okay, so America is the richest country ever.
But
there's a curious paradox. Most Americans actually have a much worse standard of living than people who live in poorer countries like Germany or Finland or Britain. But how can that be?
That's true, actually. Like, we're the richest country in the land, but many of Americans are living below poverty and everything. It's like, how is this acceptable? How are we having all these money? And a lot of people have to scrap. Just to make ends meet. Like, a lot of people in America have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to hold a house up, just to keep a roof under their head. Like that. Like, to me, that should not be American dream right there.
That shouldn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Well, here's the shitty deal. Americans get significantly worse services because our tax dollars don't fund them.
That's
so,
true.
Of course, our services are worse. And thus we enjoy less happy lives than people who live in the aforementioned countries. Not that difficult a concept to conceive, really.
Nope.
You get what you pay for, said the cartoon dog to the other cartoon dog. And while you might think the reason American tax dollars don't fund as many services is because we pay lower taxes than other countries, that's not even true.
Really?
When you add federal, state, local, and sales taxes and include
That's
other
true.
costs and services that
That's true. We get paid. Although taxes take out of our paycheck. It wouldn't be too much of an issue had our tax dollars actually going to the place that which actually matter, like infrastructure or education. Instead, it's going to fucking military or something. We're funding private prisons and all kind of BS.
Don't cover, but other countries' taxes do. Like our uniquely high health insurance premiums, you'll find that Americans actually give away more of their wages than most of the developed world.
Sadly, that's true.
For example, in Canada, For a married worker with 2 kids, all of the previously mentioned costs combined, from taxes to health insurance premiums, make up only 11% of the average wage.
Really?
In the UK, it's just about 26%.
Okay.
Meanwhile, once you tack on the cost of our outlandish health insurance premiums, you're spending a whopping 43% of your paycheck.
That's not true. And it's like, that's not how it should be. Why is everything being taken out of our paycheck? It's like, 'cause we don't have much like to make it meet, yo.
Finland, Sweden, and Norway. In real reality, Americans keep much less of what we own than in other countries.
That's
in
true.
other countries, their government takes a bit more tax, but then gives that money back to their citizens in the form of healthcare or job support, or a general safety net for all vulnerable citizens, no matter how dusky they are.
Exactly.
So what do Americans get for the money we pay in?
Exactly.
Well, sure, we get a crumbling infrastructure, shameful homelessness, and millions of
That's
hungry,
true.
neglected children, but we also get some of the worst services in the developed world.
Really?
Again, our healthcare. American healthcare is simultaneously the most expensive,
Yep.
least efficient,
Yep.
and the least effective healthcare
Yep.
system in the developed world.
I remember, what's his name, Rand Paul? Like, I think he had that in surgery. I forgot what surgery he had to go. He had to go to Canada to get the fucking surgery. Like, come on, you're probably this libertarian, this Republican, and yet you're going to Canada, like, to get, better health care? Come on, like, make that make sense. Explain this shit like I'm a 4-year-old, yo.
Hey, the devil's trifecta. And in exchange for this extremely expensive, inefficient healthcare system, what do we get?
What do we get?
Well, we get some of the worst health outcomes in the developed world.
True.
We have fewer hospital beds per capita than people in Turkey or Brunei.
And Turkey had way less people.
Life expectancy than people in Lebanon or Cuba. And in the
Really?
Mississippi Delta and much of Appalachia, life expectancy is lower than in Bangladesh.
I know Bangladesh had no they don't have more people there. I don't gonna say that, but Bangladesh they're like a third world country, and it's crazy how they have a better health system than we do. All these places where we were told as we were kids, like places like Cuba and all that places, that we were told that these places are bad, they're evil, they're all that bad places, and yet they take care of their citizens more than we do. What? Like, what? Make that make sense, yo!
In 2017, the United Nations sent a commissioner to West Virginia to document what he saw, and he described, quote, third world conditions of absolute poverty, unquote.
Didn't I say that earlier? Third world condition of absolute poverty. I try not to talk too much because I don't want to make this like a 25 minutes video, but look at this, yo! Didn't I say like we're basically like the most like if anyone is a shithole country, it's us, yo, and healthcare is the big reason why.
We even have a higher infant mortality rate
Wow.
than people in Russia and Serbia. In every single metric, America does worse across the board.
It does not look good at all.
Why is healthcare so expensive? Because it's so complicated. You have to look for in-network physicians, schedule an established care appointment, beg for coverage from your insurance company that couldn't care less about you,
That's
that's
true.
if you're lucky enough to have good insurance. Compare that to Britain and all of those other evil, socialist-like countries.
Those damn socialist country. That damn socialist country that help they provide free healthcare. That damn socialist country who provide free education. Yeah, but we're America. We're the best country in the world, even though we have higher infant mortality rate than all of us. America! Fuck yeah!
Hospitals provide free treatment to people who need it. That's it.
Exactly.
I'll repeat that. Public hospitals provide free treatment to people who need it.
Exactly.
And here's the best part. Even though Britain offers healthcare for free, their system is actually a lot cheaper to run than ours.
Really?
Per capita healthcare spending in the US is almost 3 times what it is in Britain, and almost 5 times what Canadians spend. In fact, Americans spend the most per person of any country in the world for healthcare. But the free market is more efficient, you screech. But in
Bullshit.
America, private systems often aren't efficient at all.
Exactly.
Private drug
It's not.
companies have an incentive to charge whatever they can get away with for pharmaceuticals. In Canada, a carton of insulin costs about $20.
Yeah.
In the U.S., it costs $300.
Make that make sense. Why people are not outraged about this? Make this make sense. Why are people not like insulin, like it should cost like in my opinion insulin should be free really, but it have to pay. I say you have to pay like what 10, 20, maybe no more than $50. That probably the highest. It should not cost no damn $300 just to buy some freaking insulin. Come on, yo, make that make. Why are people not outraged about this? But they outraged about what Black Lives Matter. You guys, whatever, man.
And with private insurance companies footing the bill, hospitals have an incentive to get as much money out of patients as possible too. In 2015, the average cost of an MRI scan in the U.S. was $1,119.
Wow.
But it was only $250 in Australia.
In Australia.
About $181. And our healthcare system is so inefficient that we spend over a third of our cost on administration. The United States spends significantly more on administration than we spend on preventative or long-term healthcare. That's just not smart.
That really not.
Okay, we get it. We all know that American healthcare is so much more expensive, you say, but that's the cost of having the freest freedom in God's favorite country. Well, guess what? Medical procedures that are totally free in Britain, like giving birth, cost tens of thousands of dollars in the United States.
Why does it cost $10,000 just to give birth in the United States? That is asinine. That is ridiculous. Why are people not upset about this? Why are people
I mean, you want to talk about the cost of freedom. Sadly, because of these...
That's not freedom. That's that's slavery, really. Tens of thousands of dollars just to give birth to a baby? That's slavery, yo.
Plus, Americans often avoid going to the doctor, something almost half
they do. That's true.
They do. With shoddy or non-existent health insurance, Americans will wait until their conditions force them into the emergency room where treatment is far more expensive. Again, not a smart system. Quite often, they end up putting off medical visits and dying.
Yep.
Susan Finley, a 53-year-old Walmart employee in Colorado, got pneumonia and took one day off of work beyond what Walmart's policy allows. So, of course, Walmart's going to Walmart, which they did by firing her.
That's messed up. See, that's the thing. A lot of the employees, they really don't give a damn about that. A lot of these corporations, they really don't give a damn about their employees. If they do, they will make sure that their employees are well taken care of. You would think that they won't want their employees to be well taken care of, so they can come back and they can continue to work. You would think that you would think of that logic, but nope, not nope. As soon as you get sick, you're fired, cause you're not useful. I don't know, man.
Care coverage. She struggled to find new work, and after avoiding a visit to the doctor for flu-like symptoms, she was found dead in her apartment.
And sadly, that happened more often than we think.
When Americans do manage to get treated, they frequently can't afford it. Simple,
can't.
life-saving treatments can cost tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if they don't have really good insurance, they're forced to take on medical debt. Tens of millions of Americans owe medical debt, often into the tens of thousands of dollars. Meanwhile, in a country like Britain or Norway, medical debt is almost unheard of. But hey, that's why GoFundMe is such a critical component of American healthcare.
We shouldn't have to rely on GoFundMe.
Is now for medical bills. I'll repeat that. 1 in 3 GoFundMe campaigns is now for medical bills.
We should not have to rely on GoFundMe to just to pay for medical stuff. That's not success. That's, to me, that's failure of our medical field. You know what I'm saying? That's
strong, powerful, rich, and great country that its citizens have to beg strangers on the internet for money so they can get life-saving treatments that are free in the rest of the developed world.
In the developed world, yeah.
But hey, that's just healthcare. Americans get terrible deals wherever you look. Let's take work, for example. Americans work longer hours than people in any other rich
That's
country in the
true.
world, and
Yep.
that's not because they enjoy sleep deprivation and not seeing their families for days at a time. It's because they don't want to starve, or freeze, or die. See, America.
Yeah, 40-hour week. That's like to me, that's not sanity. It should be like 4 days a week, and then 4 days a week, and then we should get 3 days off. 3 weekend off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or even Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. But
The least
I
generous job
digress.
support programs, the least generous family benefits, and
Yep.
the least generous unemployment benefits of any wealthy country. It's one of the only countries on earth that doesn't guarantee paid time off for vacations. It doesn't
That's
even
true.
provide paid time off for parents who just had a child.
That's true.
And it's not coincidental that we're also one of the most hostile countries to workers' rights. America has one of the lowest unionization rates in the entire world.
Really?
Maybe this deprivation, our refusal to give people the means to lead a good, dignified life commensurate with how rich our country is, can explain a bit of what we've seen in the United States over the last few decades. Fraying communities, rising rates of depression and suicide, huge numbers of deaths from drug overdoses. These so-called deaths of despair, suicide, drug overdoses, alcoholic liver disease, they're one big reason why American life expectancy has actually started to decline
Yeah, you're
over the
right.
last few years. And with such poor conditions, it's not a surprise that poverty is so rampant in the United States.
Exactly.
America devotes a smaller percentage of spending on social welfare than any other industrialized economy because, say it with me, socialism is evil.
It's evil, y'all. I'd rather be poor and homeless than have socialism.
Their system of government is evil.
It's messed up because it's like anything that has anything towards the left, you know what I'm saying, is considered socialism. Even if it's not. Like Biden and Kamala Harris, and a few other people, they're nowhere near socialism. As a matter of fact, they have more in common with right wingers than they do with the actual left wingers. But because they happen to be Democrats, they're evil socialists. They're this and that. And it's like, and it's messed up because even some of the Democrats have fallen into that socialist BS. But socialists, they can't work in the United States. Why the F not? Why not? Everything else has failed. The trickle down theory, that's failed. Come on, they need to change, y'all.
Guess what? I guarantee they'll know you're an American.
Exactly.
But I digress. America also has the highest rate of child poverty of any developed country, and the highest percentage of workers earning significantly less than the national median income.
That's me.
Seems pretty evil to me.
That's me.
Especially since such a tiny fraction take as much of your money for themselves and their families as you will let them. All the while, both parties smile and shake hands.
Exactly. Yep.
Across every
Both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans.
People accept a worse deal than Americans today.
That's right.
High taxes, high cost of living for next to nothing in return from the government.
That's right. We don't.
Expensive healthcare system.
Exactly.
Outcomes.
California just released a stimulus check, a measly $600. I checked and I still haven't received anything. Come on, California. I don't make more than $75,000 a year. Come on.
More money taken from workers for the highest rate of child poverty. We are the richest country in the history of the world, but we have fewer miles of high-speed rail than Uzbekistan. We are the greatest country in the world.
High rail. We can't even get updated on high rail. We have to rely on freaking Amtrak. Don't get me wrong, I like Amtrak, but we have to rely on old trains where we could have been more developed. I see this as we're digressing as opposed to we're not progressing. We could have been the best country in the world on many aspects. Especially for infrastructure. But no, we somehow against it.
Of any country, and the highest incarceration rate as
well. Yes.
And a higher rate of police killings
than
in Angola and Sudan.
Wow.
America is bad at everything because instead of choosing to make life better for people through a public healthcare system or more generous childcare policies or better public transit or programs that allow people to spend more time with their families, American law is designed and crafted to protect a class of parasitical middleman industries. Instead of using a proportionally tiny piece of the massive amount of the wealth in this country to make people's lives healthier and happier, Most of our elected leaders are and have been for generations engaged in a massive project of looting.
That's
Gently
true.
and lovingly guiding as much money as possible from working people into the pockets of the well-connected and the ultra-rich. Think
Yeah.
about that as we start hearing about the inevitable rise in homelessness, poverty, starvation, and sickness that will occur during these coming months and years in the greatest, strongest, richest, most powerful country on the face of the earth. I'm David Cross for the Gravel Institute.
That was a great video, y'all. And he's right. Both parties really don't give a both parties, both the Democrats and the Republicans, they have contributed to why America sucks. They have like a lot of these things, especially with a high incarceration, they both agree with. Especially with expensive healthcare, they both agree with. You know what I'm saying? That's why Democrats are so agitated into fight people like Bernie Sanders at AOC. AOC. That instead of actually bringing the progressive people into their forefront and actually fight for the middle people. But I digress. What do you guys think? Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think of the whole situation? Let me know. Comment down below. Leave a like and subscribe to the boy. You can check out my previous video down here. Peace, love, and rock and roll.